Left of Dalit. Pasuk Dalit. V'yiru Echov ki osa ohav aviyah mikol Echov. Vayishnu also. The brothers saw that the father loved him more than all his brothers. Vayishnu also, and they hated him. Lo yochlu daber l'shalom. And as a result of it, they couldn't speak to him in peace. So it's interesting the way the Mefarshim explain that initially when he brought the Dibur Roh to the father, they didn't hate him. Why? Because they attributed it to what? To immaturity or whatever. Or the father is not paying attention to it. But when Yaakov made for him the Ksonas Pasim, so they attributed the Ksonas Pasim was given to him, the special piece of satin which they put on the sleeve to indicate leadership, it was due to the Dibur Roh. See, until then, they believed Yaakov didn't value what he was telling them. But why all of a sudden now is he giving the Ksonas Pasim? The Ksonas Pasim followed the Dibur Roh. So therefore, as a result of it, they realized that this tail-bearing is not something so simple. It's actually undermining their relation. I mean, that he was more special, that he loved him, because they understood he was more special. But why did he have to give him the Ksonas Pasim? So they attributed Ksonas Pasim to the Dibur Roh, to the tail-bearing, which he had done. It's interesting.
Is this the first time you need those sinners brought down the Chumash?
No, Yaakov and Esav.
It says sinner?
Yisnes Ochiv.
Okay.
It's interesting. What's the reason why? What's the reason why? What precipitated all what was going on between Yosef and his brothers? Bikeshak Vayeishev b'shalva. Right? He wanted to sit and with tranquility. So this is what activated all this. Okay? So what does that mean? Here it says he tail-bared, and Yaakov, he actually, and the Gemara says he made a mistake. The Gemara says in Shabbos Yaakov made a mistake, because a person should never openly be preferential with one child more than the other. So because of that, that's what caused all this hate, which ultimately went to Egypt because of it. The Ksonas Pasim, right? He treated one more special than the other. So it comes out, I mean, Yaakov is the one who actually precipitated all this, correct? Meaning like this, a man of Yaakov's stature, should he make such a mistake? He should make such a mistake. The answer is because since it was Bikesh Leisha B'Shalva, that's why he lacked clarity. Meaning, a person only merits certain things because he's worthy to merit them, including clarity. What about he's not worthy of the clarity? Because he's meant to make a mistake? We're not saying he didn't have Bechir. He had Bechir. He had choice. But to have that level of clarity that he shouldn't make a mistake, that's a special level. So because it's Bikesh Leisha B'Shalva, because he wanted to be in a state of tranquility, which he had no right to, this Kovtov Rog Zoshel Yosef. But how do you Rog Zoshel Yosef? How do you create the setting of strife? Yaakov has to make the mistake. So he only made the mistake because it's Bikesh Leisha B'Shalva. You had to have strife. How do you have strife? Right? He had to differentiate between the brothers. But of course, Yosef also participated. He did something wrong. He tail-bared. Normally, they would have dismissed the tail-bearing. As a maturity, that means nothing. Or the father's not paying attention. But since the Ksonas Pasim followed the tail-bearing, so they saw evidently it does mean something. Because why only after the tail-bearing did he buy him the Ksonas Pasim? Right? The special coats. As a result of that, they see that it is meaningful. But he made a foolish mistake. Right? Shalishana of Bein Abonim. Father shouldn't make differentiation between children. So I'm saying that mistake was because of Bikesh Leisha B'Shalva. And everything followed after that.
Wanting to be B'Shalva wants to be at a higher level to serve the Baruch Shalom doesn't follow?
We spoke about this, and also if you listen to yesterday's CD, I spoke about it at length. Okay. If you want, not the CD, you speak to Howard, he was there. Okay. So he yeah.
And I was awake.
Saying that, okay. Odos Baldim, K'meidim Davi. Okay. You can have a guest lecturer at your shul in Englewood between Mincha. You bring them in. Okay.
Well, we cannot say that he lacked clarity because he had clarity, he split clarity.
You may have, no, you may have.
He made a mistake at one point.
Yeah, but if that kind of mistake, Yaakov shouldn't have made. He only, Hashem caused him to lack clarity in this particular point to bring about the result. What we had to bring about a state of strife. What would cause the strife? Right? Them believing that Yaakov is favoring Yosef over them. No? So that, but how do you create that setting? He goes and buys something for Yosef, and he treats him more specially than the others. It's okay. So he was lack clarity just in that particular point. No, it says Kofetz l'Roksa Shal Yosef. I mean, he had a Chavei Shonim. He had to go. That's a separate question, right? The Mida connected Mida. He had to actually be sold into slavery. Yosef had to be separated from it.
This would have occurred no matter what.
Somehow it would have come about, but the way it came about. Rogzo Shalio. Rog is the strife between the brothers. That was something else. He could have been kidnapped and sold into slavery. Right? The brothers didn't have to do it. No. Shalom just it's a state of tranquility. No, Shalom doesn't mean disengagement. He wants a peace of mind, peace of emotion, peace of mind. That's what you want. Yeah.
Why would the brothers select it to be the vehicle through which the 20 years is given? It was just given to me the fact that what did they do?
It was all Bechira. Well, what did Joseph do? Right? Before the Ksonas Pasam, the tail-bearing meant nothing. The tail-bearing took on that special level because of Ksonas Pasam. You know, you can have all flammable material. You don't use you don't light it with a match. It doesn't mean anything. So Yaakov, he ignited the whole thing. How did he ignite it? Bigish Leisha B'Shalva. That's how he ignited.
But why did the brothers have to be the vehicle? I mean, it could have been kidnapped.
That's the Rose of Yosef. That's it. Well, that's always child. It's always this way. It's like we always say, Yitzhak didn't make any mistakes.
I'm saying when he also caused
He-
strife between Yitzhak.
Hashem caused it. Esav son of Yaakov, that's God's doing. It has nothing to do with Yitzhak. Right? It was meant to be. Why was he blind? Exactly for this reason, that he should give the bracha to Yaakov, not to Esav. So this is God's scenario. Hashem is planning it out over here. But again, it's like I always say, you merit clarity, not necessarily in your own merit. They merit the reason why they would have clarity is in the merit of Yaakov. You understand? But if Yaakov himself doesn't have the merit, his kids are not going to have the clarity. Understand what I'm saying? Like we said by Nadav and Avihu, why did they make the mistake? Because they would have only had the clarity in the merit of Aaron. But Aaron deserved to be punished because of Chet Egel. So therefore, the schus of Aaron didn't help him. Now they were on their own. The same thing here. The clarity of not to fail with the strife, that they needed Yaakov's schus. But if Yaakov is Bika Shleif Shav, he doesn't deserve that, therefore they don't have the schus. So therefore they have no clarity. So now they were on their own. They were on their own, so this is the choice they made.
What would you say with Chabad? And the fact that Moshe had clarity in his life. His parents didn't have the clarity when they initiated, came to the Gua and said, don't just go to there's no clarity there also. That would have been a very serious mistake if they were corrected in the Gua. Moshe had clarity. He was protecting himself.
Okay, Amram's not Moshe Rabbeinu, and Amram is not Yaakov Avinu. right? He was leading Torah sage in his generation.
And also only people who ever sinned in his life.
Okay, that doesn't mean you have clarity.
Special.
Doesn't mean you have that level of clarity.
Read Rosh Hashanah, though, right?
And also sometimes Hashem doesn't give you that special level of clarity, gives somebody else the source to have the clarity. Right? I mean, I'll ask you something. Miriam was the prophetess. Why did Abraham receive the prophecy? No, so which I understand. That's what I'm saying. It was meant because Miriam had to have the schus. Okay, let's do the morale.